Well, back at the lab, working on the smoke. As you can see, we have a voltometer about 5 volts and it's declining because I just ran a test. It was up around 6 volts, which is about the maximum for the smoke, and I'm running it off of a 3.3 volt power supply. I showed you that the other day. And I'm using the buck boost from a transformer for the smart smoke power supply, and he's at about 8.5 volts setting for the buck boost board. And at idle at the station or whatever, you're sitting at about 4.8 volts, between 4 and 4.8, something like that. It depends, a lot of variables involved here, especially your transformer position. So let's say we're going to start out, we'll do one pulse and see what happens. We just jacked up to 4.5 volts and we had a nice puff of smoke. So we're going to puff out, puff, 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 chug, chuff, chuff, chuff. As you start hitting the fan more frequently, you get more voltage. You're climbing up to 6 volts. 6 volts is about the maximum, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, let's try it out. Let's go flat out. Let's pretend we're going 100% on the throttle, and the chuffs are so fast, it's just one continuous puff. And we're stuck at 5.96 volts, which is exactly what we want to do. But now you're slowing down, you're coming in, you're doing a slower pace. Voltage takes a while to drop because it's absorbed all that heat, and it's and then you're chuffing around. May want to drop that. We'll see how it goes. Every installation is going to be unique. That's why I'm thinking I'm going to have to go back to adding potentiometers, but we're going to have to be very careful what you do with them and how you adjust them. See, now it's dropping. It's absorbing the heat. The thermistor is getting hotter, and it's telling it, cool down, boys. We don't want to get so hot. Now, this thing does get warm, but it does not get screaming hot like it used to. So we made adjustments here. We made adjustments inside. The alignment and the assembly process is different. I've adjusted the buck boost board, and this is a third housing that I have. I had 4 and I melted 1, you know that. But from 4.4 volts to 1 puff, it's instant, so you don't have to worry about warming it up. But if you get warm, you get going, the heat will increase to the airflow so that you can maintain a respectable amount of smoke. Okay, that's the whole idea. And now what I have to do is go back to Leon's chassis, and I have to go through his smoke and make these adjustments that I made to this one to his, and I'm going to test it on this fixture to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. And I have my Royal Blue chassis over here, and I'm going to make those changes and adjustments to it, make sure he is set to the right parameters, and then retest him. I'll retest them all on this fixture because I know they're all consistent. Then I'll put them in their own environments and see, is there anything going on here that's going to cause that to change? And I don't think there will be. But I just kind of took a couple days off, actually. I didn't really take it off. I was doing things, but I wasn't fussing with this. I just had to do some work. I was doing some doodles and some thinking. I had come up with a game plan. I thought through the process. I thought through the components. I thought through what are the variables and what do they cause. And then we sat down. I had Margaret with me, and she took notes, and we went through all of the testing of the different pieces, talked about orientations and all that, and we really got down to it. We think we have it nailed, and it feels really good, and she's turned it into a real live lab report. So those that order this housing, I'll send you that report so you'll know what's in it, and if you see anything going off track, you'll know what to do and how to do it. Okay. I'll button this up. A little slow today. Redskins lost, but they gave a good fight. They ended about where everybody thought they would. A close game, but lose. And they did. Field goal in the last 12 seconds. Was disappointing, frankly. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good guy, but we want our team to win now, okay? So anyway, that was sad, but it's where they are. It's what they can do. The defense absolutely played great. Offense got sluggish every once in a while, and I'm putting it on the offensive line, frankly. They're just not holding up very well. I know these teams are good, they're fast, they're big, but hey, you know, that's the landscape. That's what you got to have. You can see a few leaks. I don't have all the screws in and stuff like that. I drilled some holes to make some heat measurements, so it's got a few extra holes in it, but boy, does it smoke. Look at that baby. So the chuff, I think, is going to work out great now. This housing gets warm, but it doesn't get soft at all, but it is still a test housing. I'm going to get the real material. Carbon fiber PETG will handle, you know, almost 200 degrees. This is getting there. In fact, I found that my ratings were low. I was doing my heat tests out in the open, but when you put it inside the box, it's like pressurizing the water in your cooling system. You need more heat when you're in an enclosed space to make this thing function with that fan blowing that right past it. So we had to raise the heat from 140 to 160 instead of the 120 to 140. But it's safe. It's not going to cause trouble, and it does the trick. You get instant fan smoke, and it doesn't out smoke because we've got the volt limiter set in, and it will increase the voltage because of the fan, but it won't sit there and just melt itself into a blob either. It will shut down and shut off the volts if you just sit. So that's exactly what we wanted to do. Okay, I'll let this go, and you guys can check it out. I'll get you. Oh, the report is in a hard photo. It's a photo. I don't know how to add it to this, so maybe I'll put it in a comment underneath this when I post it. There you go. All right, so now we can finish these engines. All right, later.